Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. It's an interesting day for royal watchers as both Prince Harry and Mike Tindall will see their books hitting UK shelves at the same time. Prince Harry's paperback version of Spare is released, while Mike Tindall, the former rugby star and husband of Harry's cousin Zara, launches his own book, The Good, the Bad and the Rugby, Unleashed. The clash between Harry and Mike on the literary battlefield is noteworthy, given their very different experiences of life within the royal family. Mike, who has been married to Zara Tindall, Princess Anne's daughter and King Charles' niece, since 2011, recalls in his book that joining the royal fold was a breeze for him. He writes, "Believe it or not, marrying into the royal family was pretty easy for me. They were always nice to me, and I was always nice to them. Simple, really." We'll spare you a recap of Meghan's take on the subject, as you're likely familiar with it. Mike celebrated his 46th birthday in style in Barcelona over the weekend. The former rugby player took to TikTok to share a weekend recap, offering fans a glimpse of the festivities through candid selfies and video clips. In the post, Mike captioned, "Great birthday weekend. Gutted we didn't get to see a Sir Ben comeback, but nevertheless was an incredible experience." The couple seemed relaxed as they sailed the choppy waters on a yacht and cheered on Ineos Britannia at the 37th America's Cup. In one selfie, Zara, wrapped in a hood to shield from the wind, grinned alongside her husband. Other snapshots captured the pair raising glasses of bubbles, enjoying the moment with friends and watching the yacht race. Although Emirates Team New Zealand claimed victory over Ineos Britannia by 37 seconds. A particularly sweet moment came when Mike posed beside a yacht-shaped birthday cake complete with sails and tiny orange buoys made of icing. Prince William was in high spirits after Aston Villa secured their third consecutive victory in the Champions League, continuing their impressive start to the competition. A lifelong Villa fan, the Prince of Wales couldn't hide his excitement as Unai Emery's side sailed to a 2-0 victory over Bologna, keeping their unbeaten streak intact. Former Scotland striker and TNT sports commentator Ali McCoist, who was recently awarded an OBE by Prince William, humorously speculated during the match whether the Prince was watching from home. In a rare move, Prince William responded via the Kensington Royal social media account, confirming his dedication to his team. He wrote, "Of course I was watching," and signed off with W for William and hashtag UTV, which stands for Up the Villa. This marks a rare moment of direct interaction from the future king, especially as the royal family typically avoids engaging with commercial entities. McCoist, who received his OBE from Prince William at Windsor Castle earlier this month, had previously hinted at their shared love for the club, joking that he may have discussed Aston Villa during the ceremony. King Charles and Queen Camilla have landed in Samoa, making the start of their 4-day visit to the Pacific island following their 6-day tour of Australia. The couple expressed excitement for the trip, sharing on social media that they can't wait to experience Samoa's ancient traditions and meet the locals. As part of the tour, the King and Queen will take part in cultural ceremonies, including being welcomed with garlands and observing the traditional Ava ceremony. Charles will also be honoured with a High Chief title. The tour will also spotlight the pressing issue of climate change, particularly its impact on Samoa's low-lying coastal areas which face threats from rising sea levels. Despite some protests during their visit to Australia, the tour has been largely successful, with thousands turning out to greet the royals at events in Sydney and Canberra. In The Telegraph, royal editor Hannah Furness explains why Samoa may not go as smoothly as Australia. Furness writes, "There is public pressure in some quarters for the king to apologise personally for his family's involvement in slavery and the ties between the monarchy and the slave trade. In this, the king's hands are constitutionally tied. He cannot and will not deviate from the government's position on reparations, which is that they will not be on the agenda in Samoa. He is likely, sources say, to reiterate his previous acknowledgement of the dark and painful history and hopes for a fairer future in the Commonwealth. It may not be seen as enough." Furness points out that this tour may become a blueprint for how to do it going forward, in factoring in potential protests in advance and tackling them head-on with meetings. As the King did in Australia, the palace has gone some way to changing the narrative. In embracing some fun too, they have guaranteed those all-important pictures that will find their way into the history books. More on Palace in just a moment. King Charles may have inadvertently offered a lifeline to Prince Andrew, though not in the most conventional sense. According to royal commentator Richard Eden, there's a tongue-in-cheek suggestion that Andrew, with his past experience as a helicopter pilot, could apply for a newly advertised position flying members of the royal family around the UK. The ad from the royal household seeks a multi-engine helicopter commander, and given Andrew's service during the Falklands War, his expertise might be a natural fit. The joke stems from Andrew's ongoing troubles, particularly the fallout from his infamous Newsnight interview in 2019 and the legal and financial struggles that followed. He's been stripped of his HRH title and has faced pressure from King Charles to leave the sprawling 30-room Royal Lodge due to the inability to fund necessary repairs. While the suggestion of Andrew returning as a royal pilot is clearly light-hearted, his ongoing saga, including the possibility of eviction if he can't raise £2 million for repairs, continues to attract attention. If nothing else, it's one more twist in the Duke of York's slow fall from grace within the royal family. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave us a review or some stars if you're enjoying the show. Don't forget to check out one of our other shows, Ghost Scary Stories, just in time for Halloween. You can find that show wherever you found this show, Ghost Scary Stories. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.